Hi friends, SBI PO Prelims English session question paper number English session explanation విందాం ముందుగా. This is reading comprehension. Come on. Despite the economic crunch worldwide that saw pulverization of some of the largest banking and finance giants, Indian banking houses have managed to show positive growth this quarter. Some of India's leading national banks have posted a net profit rise of more than 40% over the last quarter amid global turmoil. This would come as a big shot in the arm for the investors and consumers of these banks, even though apprehension is mounting on other banking and broking firms worldwide. One of the main reasons behind the success of these banks this quarter would be their direct banking by the government of India. People take solace in their investments in public sector, watching the bailout packages being cashed out by governments all over the world to save big business houses. Other private banks in India have also reported a substantial net profit over the last quarter. Given the internal and domestic scenario, one cannot put this down as a mundane achievement. Mundane means ordinary. While others are on a cost-cutting spree and firing employees, Indian companies are actually working on boosting staffing in banking and broking sector. This can be seen as a big boon in the days to come when the current recession eases and the economy gradually comes back onto the fast track. The finance minister has assured Indian public about the sound health of all Indian banks. This could also be evident from the fact that there have been no mergers and takeovers in Indian banking sector, in a contrast to world scenario where finance houses are looking for mergers to cut costs on operations. We definitely are not looking to thrive, develop, rather we are looking for growth. It is just the pace of growth is a little slow now as compared to a year or two before. These are hard times to test the hard. The weak in business and career will be weeded out, and it is sometimes very beneficial for business in the long run. What, according to the other, is the reason for the success of Indian national banks in this quarter? Indian national banks do not have any commitment in trouble for no. These banks can never face financial crisis. No. These banks are ready to give loans at a very low rate of interest. No. The public is ready to invest in these banks because of the knowledge that these banks get strong support from the government. That is the fourth option. What does the phrase shot in the arm means? That is an encouragement. Shot in the arm means an encouragement. సో ఇది మనకి చాలా ఎంకరేజింగ్ గా ఉంది అని చెప్పడానికి షాట్ ఇన్ ద ఆర్మ్ అనేటువంటి ఫ్రేజ్ ని యూజ్ చేయడం జరిగింది మిత్రులారా. ఇక్కడ మనం చూసినట్లయితే ఎస్ దిస్ వుడ్ come as a big shot in the arm for the investors and consumers of these banks even though apprehension is mounting on the banking and చాలా మంది డౌట్స్ అప్రహెన్షన్స్ ఉన్నప్పటికీ కూడా ఇది ఏదైతే ఉందో మంచి గ్రోత్ వచ్చిందన్న విషయం తెలిసినప్పుడు నెట్ ప్రాఫిట్ రైజ్ అని తెలిసినప్పుడు అది మంచి ఎంకరేజ్మెంట్ గా ఉంది అని చెప్తున్నాడు. Question number 3. How, according to the author, is the current recession beneficial? ఈ ప్రస్తుత రిసెషన్ బెనిఫిషియలా, ఒకవేళ బెనిఫిషియల్ అయితే ఎలా అని అడుగుతున్నాడు. ఎస్ మిత్రమా, ఎస్ ఫైనల్ పారాగ్రాఫ్ లో మనం ఈ రిసెషన్ గురించి చూసినాము. హౌ ఇట్ ఈస్ బెనిఫిషియల్ అని ఎక్కడ మనకి చెప్పినది లేదు, కానీ చూద్దాం. వరల్డ్ వైడ్ కంపెనీస్ హ్యావ్ రియలైజ్ దట్ ఇండియా ఈస్ సర్జింగ్ ahead of the other companies. No. After the recession is over, international company will turn to India for investment. చెప్పలేదు. So that, my dear friends, I am going with none of these. Fourth option. What, according to the other, will be a big boon in the days to come? The economy coming back, the slowing down of the economy, no, increased hiring in Indian financial sector in times of economic slowdown will be a big boon in the days to come. Which of the following statements are definitely true in the context of the passage? India has not been affected by the economic slowdown. Maybe. Indian banks are showing growth in this quarter despite the recession. B correct. While banking industry in the West was severely affected by recession in the past, it is not. No, only B. That is the second option. Question number 6. Which of the following strengthens the finance minister's statement about the sound health of Indian banks? There have been no acquisition mergers of Indian banks. 1 correct. The Indian banks are recording a positive growth. 2 correct. Layoffs have been observed. Kadandi C kadu, only A and B. That is first option. Question number 7. Yes, seventh question lo adugutu unnadu. What is turmoil? Turmoil means that is uproar. That is called chaos. గందరగోళమైన పరిస్థితి. పల్వరైజేషన్ మొత్తం ప్రపంచమంతా జరుగుతోంది. పల్వరైజేషన్ అని అంటున్నాడు. దట్ ఈజ్ క్రషింగ్. అండ్ థ్రైవ్ అంటే అర్థము డెవలప్ అవడం అని అర్థం అండి. తగ్గిపోవడాన్ని ఏమంటారు? దట్ ఈజ్ డెట్రాయరేట్. సెకండ్ ఆప్షన్. మండేన్ అనే పదాన్ని ఒక దాన్ని వాడుతున్నాడు. వాట్ డూ యూ మీన్ బై మండేన్? దట్ ఈజ్ ఆర్డినరీ అనే అర్థం వస్తుందండి. ఆపోజిట్ వర్డ్ ఏమవుతుంది అంటే దట్ ఈజ్ ఎక్స్ట్రాడినరీ. Mundane, ordinary, extraordinary. Now question number 11. A Ramayana కాదు మిత్రమా. The Ramayana is not just an story కాదు నన్న. A story that probably occurred several centuries ago. Story that probably అనేది కరెక్ట్ గా ఉంది మిత్రమా. That is C. There is no doubt that China has used its commercial expansion to further. A లో డౌట్ అనాలి, తప్పుందండి. చైనా హ్యాస్ అనాలి, బిలో తప్పుందండి. ఇట్స్ కమర్షియల్ ఎక్స్పాన్షన్ సిలో తప్పుందండి. టు ఫర్దరింగ్ కాదండి, టు ఫర్దర్ అనాలి. ఫోర్త్ వన్ లో తప్పుంది. కాబట్టి నన్ ఆఫ్ ద అబవ్. దెర్ ఈజ్ ఏ ఫెయిల్యూర్ అనాలి, అండ్ ఫెయిల్యూర్ కాదండి. కాబట్టి ఫస్ట్ వన్ లో ఎర్రర్ ఉంది. దెర్ ఈజ్ ఎ ఫెయిల్యూర్ ఇన్ స్టోరీ టెల్లింగ్ వేర్ ద డెత్ ఆఫ్ ఎ లాంగ్వేజ్ హ్యాజ్ బికమ్. ఇక్కడ రెండు విషయాలు మనం చూసినట్లయితే, దేర్ ఈజ్ ఏ ఫెయిల్యూర్, fail in, succeed in, failure in the storytelling, in storytelling కాకుండా, where death of a language, where the death of a language, సిలో ఎటువంటి ఎర్రర్ లేదు. కాబట్టి in storytelling there is a failure in the storytelling where the death of a, సింపుల్ గా తీసుకున్నాడు. కాబట్టి we can go with C, third option. Question number 14. It was only because of practice of those many years that I can prepare myself fast. It was only because of practice of those many years that I can prepare myself fast. That is none of the above. Now, 15th one. A democracy that fails to be inventive about culture eventually becomes a nominal, rudimentary and standardized world. A democracy that fails, first one lo tappundandi. To be inventive, B lo tappundandi. About culture eventually becomes correct andi. A nominal anali, D lo kuda tappundandi. So error lenatuvantiది part C, that is third option. I don't think he feels I am culprit of కాదండి. I am crime కి culpable of crime, తప్పు చేసిన వాడిగా. We are both culpable for sending the only innocent soul either of us has ever known to hell. I don't think he feels I am culpable of a crime, but he knows I am holding back on him. That is culpable of. The machine was set for planned selection, random selection. Do you think this was a random break-in? Expected break-in? No, random selection, random break-in. Now, 18th one. A monument was created in 1901 A monument was created in 1901 to commemorate the Russians who fell. Was reading at R. and it was to commemorate this miracle. Smrtyanjali, Smrti. The chroniclers dash the fact that this king was not of royal descent. Emphasize the point. He seemed to emphasize the last word. Put pressure, emphasize. That is the first option. There is a dash of student, plethora, number of anardhamandi, plethora of students, the plethora of tasty aromas, fifth option. Early one morning, the fever left me as suddenly and mysteriously as it had come. So that we can kill, however, early one morning, ఏదేమైనప్పటికీ ఒకరోజు ఉదయాన్నే the fever left me as suddenly and mysteriously as it had come. Third option. The sky had grown darker again. The wind made queer sobbing sounds as it swept over the valley. The sky had grown darker again. అదొక పాయింట్. The wind made queer sobbing sounds as it swept over the valley. రెండు పాయింట్లు అయినప్పుడు we can use and. But though although ఒకే విషయాన్ని చెప్తాయి. And అప్లై చేయండి. The sky had grown darker again and the wind made queer sobbing sounds. That is the fifth option. He was an accomplished pianist and composer. He never published any of his works. అతడు అకంప్లిష్డ్ పియానిస్ట్ కంపోజర్ అయినప్పటికీ ఎప్పుడూ కూడా తన వర్క్స్ ని పబ్లిష్ చేయలేదు. కావున although he was an accomplished pianist and composer, he never published any of his works. That is second. అయినప్పటికీ 24. Copper is not yet universally employed, price being the governing factor in its employment. The conducting quality of the iron used for telegraphic purposes has of late years been very greatly improved. Copper is not yet universally employed because the price is more. Moreover, the conducting quality of the iron used for telegraphic purposes has of late years been very greatly improved. Similarly వాడితే likewise వాడాలి. ఇక్కడ however లేదు, so లేదు, అంతకు మించి అని అన్నాడు కాబట్టి moreover అప్లై చేసాం. 25. Imagine 1,000 new arts, none of which are even invented. Imagine 1,000 new arts, each with 1,000 new great masters. Imagine 1,000 of new arts ఉన్నాయి, none of which are even invented. ఏవి ఇన్వెంట్ చేయదు. అయినప్పటికీ ఈచ్ విత్ 1,000 న్యూ గ్రేట్ మాస్టర్స్. యెట్ అయినప్పటికీ ఒక్కొక్క దాంట్లో 1,000 న్యూ గ్రేట్ మాస్టర్. అండ్ వాడలేను, నంతలెస్ నెవర్తలెస్ వాడలేను. ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ బట్. యెట్ అయినప్పటికీ ఈచ్, నెవర్తలెస్ నంతలెస్ సేమ్ మీనింగ్. Question number 26. The police have also checked victory processions, bursting of crackers in public places or in front of residences, and taking out bike rallies, etc. Checked కాదండి, banned. The police have also banned victory processions, bursting of crackers. పోలీస్ వారు బ్యాన్ చేశారు. రెగ్యులరైజో యాక్సలరేటో చేయలేదు, చెక్ చేయలేదు. దే బ్యాన్డ్ ఇట్. 27. All the water bodies along the route would be sanitized, and this would prove to be a boon to farmers. శానిటైజ్ చేస్తే బూన్ ఎందుకు అవుతుందండి? శానిటైజర్ కాదు. would be rerouted కాదు. would be filled with the surplus water, and this would prove to be a boon to farmers of the districts, he said, adding that the project was being finalized. కాబట్టి శానిటైజర్ కాదండి, would be filled with the surplus water so that the farmers will get a benefit. That is second option. The current medical superintendent is not eligible for the post since he has got suspended of, impeached, since he lacks the mandatory administrative experience. The current medical superintendent is not eligible for the post since he lacks the mandatory administrative experience. That is the fourth option. Question number 29. Paper ballots which were used previously were creating అయి ఉండాలి. Paper ballots was creating tensions అంటున్నాడు. Due to delay and issues in delivering to the service order. Okay. Paper ballots వర్ ఉంటే బాగుండేదండి, కింద ఎక్కడ వర్ లేదు. Was proving to be time consuming. Was proving to be time consuming. ఇక్కడ టైం కన్జ్యూమింగ్ అనే పదానికి అక్కడ డిలే అనే పదానికి సంబంధం ఉంది కాబట్టి టైం కన్జ్యూమింగ్ తీసుకుందాం. దట్ ఈస్ ద ఫోర్త్ ఆప్షన్. Question number 30. The minors counted drastically for their alleged role in crimes. Counted, who were naive for their alleged role, remained helpless for their alleged role, never did their duty for their no. The minors held at the facility for their alleged role in crimes ranging from murder to robbery cut the iron grills of a window and broke out of their dormitories. The minors held at the facility, ఎక్కడైతే ఫెసిలిటీలో ఉన్నారో వారందరూ కూడా తప్పించుకుని పారిపోయారు అని చెప్పడానికి పదాన్ని వాడుతున్నాడు. సో దట్ ద మైనర్స్ held at the facility. That is the first option. Yes, my dear friends, this is SBI PO Prelims English session explanation. Thank you very much.